On today's show, find out what students need to take care of as they approach graduation.
Also, we'll check out the trends you'll need to know to stay stylish this summer. All this and more on OC News.
Hello and welcome to OC News. I'm Crystal Ruiz.
And I'm Yahira Perez. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students of Cal State Fullerton. FedEx Corporation will be in the spotlight as the United States safety investigators work alongside local law enforcement to find out what exactly happened after a fiery collision killed 5 students and 5 adults in Orland, California. The bus was filled with students from the Los Angeles Unified School District who were headed to a university tour up north. The FedEx double trailer set up has a reputation for being dangerous, according to AQR risk manager Aaron Brown. Investigators are still trying to understand why the truck crossed the median, which led to the deadly collision. Currently, there is no evidence the truck was on fire before the crash, and a blood test will be performed on the driver. Authors, poets, and creative thinkers gathered on campus for a creative writing panel last Wednesday, hosted by Cal State Fullerton group, Sister Talk. Our Shant Sarabian has the story.
CSUF Sister Talk hosted a panel on creative writing last Wednesday at the TSU Garden Cafe. The panel discussed the importance of females making their voice heard through creativity.
Oh, female expression is a big deal in all aspects.
I think that a lot of women, we go through a lot on a day-to-day basis, whether it's you're in school, working, have children, whatever it is. And sometimes we don't take the time out of our day to kind of express ourselves.
Sister Talk is a group at CSUF that focuses on providing opportunities for discussion and learning for African American women in our community. The panel consisted of poet and acclaimed author Dorothy Randall Gray, professor of African American Studies Natalie Graham, poet and spoken word artist Lisa J. Smallwood, and assistant professor in English, comparative literature, and linguistics, Bonnie J. Williams.
It was cool to be a student and listen to actual authors and see their intake and their processes as well, because their process is different from mine. And I feel like that's valuable because they're actually doing stuff. And while I'm, trying to do it and actually hearing it from people that's accomplished was helpful.
The event gathered women and men of all backgrounds and ethnicities and encouraged all to use their voice and to be comfortable in their own skin. Follow CSUF Sister Talk Facebook group for details on upcoming events if interested. For OC News, this is Shant Sarabian.
Now we will head over to Yorlin Guido, who will tell us all about a new marijuana vending machine and the latest on a virus causing many cruise ship passengers to get sick.
Oh my Viral outbreaks on several cruise ships lately have passengers and crew members feeling under the weather. Scott Thompson has the latest.
Oh my God, we got so sick. I mean, like a stomach virus that I've never had before.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are investigating 3 suspected norovirus outbreaks on cruise ships. Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas saw 2 of the outbreaks on back-to-back tours. The third was on Princess Cruises' Crown Princess. More than 350 people aboard the ships were affected, suffering numerous symptoms, including vomiting and diarrhea.
Going down the hallways, you could smell a reeking smell. It was gross.
According to the passengers, crew members were doing their best to try to prevent further spread of the virus.
They were trying to keep everything clean with sanitizer and hand cream and stuff like that, but it just wasn't enough.
They're constantly cleaning our hands. Okay. You couldn't even pick up your own drink. They had to hand you your drink.
Norovirus is highly contagious and can be picked up through contaminated food or water, or by touching contaminated surfaces.
We have so many people together in a closed environment, eating in the same place. That's why you see it.
CDC officials are collecting specimen samples from both ships to send to their lab for testing. I'm Scott Thompson reporting.
As Colorado continues its experiment as the first state to allow legal marijuana use and sales, a high-tech solution is coming to dispensaries. Nelson Garcia shows us the new vending machine that promises to make pot purchases faster and easier without being accessible to children.
The Vail Valley is no stranger to celebrities.
Go ahead and fill these out for me.
But people here
And then everybody gets a t-shirt.
have never seen a celebrity like this.
I can walk you through the thing.
Stefan Sharon is COO of the company unveiling Zaz, the object of everyone's photographs, the first pot product vending machine, which verifies a user's age starting with their driver's license.
At which point, multiple cameras allow us to use some advanced biometrics to make absolutely certain that the person who swiped that card is the actual owner of that card.
The Zaz will not be out in public. The machines can only be located inside a licensed dispensary. Herbal Elements in Eagle Vale will house the first one. Owner Greg Honan is excited.
You can really stack inventory in a safe manner in a concentrated area.
Sharon compares it to the automated express checkout at the grocery store, making business faster and safer. The machine will track pot products
We'll have a Blue Kudus and Beyond Mars, chocolate, tea.
by using radio frequency ID chips.
There's no theft issue. There's no product disappearing.
And they say with the security measures and locations only inside dispensaries, people shouldn't worry about pot getting into the wrong hands.
I'm a father of a 12-year-old daughter, and I wouldn't want her having access to it, so we paid close attention to that.
Attention of a celebrity for a machine.
Almost like it's part of history. If it works out, you know what I mean, it's going to be a big thing. You know what I mean? So I figured, why not?
This is something you just can't make up. In Avon,
It's extremely cool this is the first one.
Nelson Garcia, 9 News.
That is all the time we have for today's health news. I'm Yorlyn Guido. Until next time.
Things are different now than what they were dated back to many ago. This is true when it comes to rituals, clothes, and now even having children. Our very own Lisa Love has the story.
Babies and young children are taking over every neighborhood. It used to be that a pregnancy before marriage was frowned upon in American history. Nowadays, it's becoming much more common to see unmarried couples having children.
I'm 74 years old, and in the old days, when I was much younger, 20 years old or so, it was understood that you need to be married to have children. But nowadays, it seems like you don't really need to be married. In fact, some of the girls at a very young age, 16, 17 years old, unfortunately are having children, and it seems like the society tends to accept that, and I disagree with that.
The trend that's popular amongst today's generation is that some mothers and fathers choose to be single parents.
I was 21 when I got pregnant. Me and her dad hadn't been together for that long. We had only been together for 3 months. But I knew I didn't want to spend the rest of my life with him. I didn't want to marry him. I got pregnant. Abortion is not an option for me. I 100% wanted to keep her, and it has been the best decision of my life. Natalia means the world to me, and she's the best thing that has happened to me. And it just made me see that you don't have to be married to have a daughter or a son. You don't have to do lots of things that society thinks you should do to raise a daughter.
The idea of having children before marriage will always leave room for some traditional folks to disagree. But with progressive society the way it is today, the outcomes of a personal life decision are ultimately limitless. This is Lisa Love reporting for OC News.
Find out how you can get your hands on a pair of Google's high-tech glasses. Sylvia Pareda has the latest news and technology.
Thank you, Yahira. If you're a social media guru who has to have access to Twitter and Facebook updates, or perhaps you're just a tech geek and want the latest and coolest gadgets on the market, then don't miss your chance tomorrow when Google Glass are available for purchase for 1 day only. On April 15, you will be able to order your very own pair of wearable tech glasses for only $1,500. Sound like a bargain? Starting at 9 a.m., yes, that's 6 a.m. Pacific time. Anyone can sign for glasses, but it is comes with either the accessory or shade or frame. The federal government is trying to clear up confusion about what it did and didn't know about the internet virus called Heartbleed. On Friday, the White House released a statement saying the National Security Agency learned about the virus from reports from private companies. The statement was meant to correct previous reports that the government had no knowledge of the heartbleed virus, which can give hackers access to email, banking, and shopping passwords. Fry's statement said the government did not know about heartbleed before this month. And if you were one of the die-hard gamers who stood in line for a midnight release of Sony's PlayStation 4 over Microsoft's Xbox One and couldn't fork over the $4.99 for the console, then you will be happy to know that retailers are offering a $50 price cut both in-store and online. Retailers like Walmart, Best Buy, and Target don't advertise the new price on their weekly circulars, but they do offer this new price tag at the checkout, even offering bundles with Titanfall for just $4.99, which is a pretty good deal considering it's a $60 video game. Know a high school student who is a hands-on learner and has cool, innovative ideas for technology and the future? Then the Engineering Innovation Program is a great way to spend their summer in an exciting college-level summer program by the Johns Hopkins University and Cal State Fullerton partnership, geared towards motivated high school students with an aptitude in math and science and an interest or curiosity about engineering. In the program, students learn to think and problem solve like engineers and have the opportunity to think like engineers. Interested students may also contact the ECS Assistant Dean Victor Delgado at 657-278-2887 or submit an online application at www.engineering.jhu.edu. For technology in the broadcast world, this week was the National Association of Broadcast show. Brittany Payton was able to attend the event and see the latest products on the market.
The Las Vegas Convention Center just hosted the annual broadcast conference. Corporations across the world participate, and this is a chance for them to present the latest products and even present advice to those aspiring to be better broadcasters. Action was definitely a big trend. This year, Sony is launching their Action Cam, and it's somewhat like the GoPro, but they're taking it to a next level. You're going to be able to see what you're doing. You can attach it to your wrist, or you can actually see it from your iPhone too. But you can take the camera, as you see on this one, you can take the camera and you can put it on your chest, on your helmet, on your wrist, on something that you're doing itself, and then you're going to be able to see it on your wrist just looking at what you're filming at this moment. Across the convention, what drew the most attention were the multitude of robotic gadgets, items that assisted in getting these humanly impossible but great shots on camera. And what else but remote control toys for grown-ups?
We have 27 startups here, and they range from companies that do content creation. And so, today, it used to be all the creation started in the studios. Anybody with a cell phone now is a movie producer. So these are companies that are taking second screen and social media and making it part of the first screen, because TV is no longer watching, it's interacting.
We're creating a personalized video news feed. So you would say like, oh, I like politics news or sports news or tech news. And we would look at all of our channels and based on your location and your language, create a news feed with clips of news that's relevant and interesting to you.
Booths filled the convention center. Brands both large and small flashed their logos and presented their hottest new product. And the crowds went wild. I even got to experiment and check out what's new this year. 2015's conference will be April 11th through 16th, so mark your calendars now. I'm Brittany Payton with OC News.
Palm Sunday marks the beginning of Holy Week for many. This is also the last week of Lent, which includes Good Friday, a day of fasting, and leads up to Easter Sunday. This week is important to Christians in remembering the Passion of Christ. Although it is sad to remember these events, it leads us to the joy of Him rising again on Easter.
Coming up on OC News, the latest fashion trends. Also see what's happening on sports.
So, April, yeah? You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
wisely. What's your excuse?
Pants. I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. Do they go on...
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
The women's soccer team is looking to close out the spring season as they host the CSU Bakersfield Roadrunners on April 19th at Titan Stadium. The Titans are teaming up with the Orange County nonprofit Cancer Awareness Foundation, Soccer for Hope, to bring awareness to fans. Soccer for Hope has been in affiliation with the team for the past 10 years and been a part of numerous camps on campuses. Founded in 1988 by Oliver and Jamie Weiss, the foundation emphasizes on raising funds for children with various types of cancer. Oliver himself is a former soccer player and survivor of aplastic anemia. The game starts at 5 p.m., but fans are welcome to come early and enjoy the Fullerton Rangers U11 team take on the West Coast Football Club U12 team at 3 p.m. On April 23rd, CSUF will hold the grand opening for the Titan Dreamers Resource Center. We go live to Jennifer Aceves with the details.
April 23rd, a new center will open its doors at Cal State Fullerton. The Titans Dreamers Resource Center will provide undocumented students with academic, educational, and emotional support. Cal State Fullerton will be the first university in the CSU system to provide such a center. The center will be located on the second floor of the Pollock Library. Festivities will be held on April 23rd from noon to 1 p.m. with guest speakers including Vice President of CSUF, Mildred Garcia. Reporting live for OC News, I'm Jennifer Aceves.
With commencement very near, Cal State Fullerton has its annual Grad Fest event to get things started for the class of 2014. Here's Jasmine Collier with the story.
Last week was the end of the year event all graduates have been waiting for. Grad Fest ran from Monday to Friday and had a variety of things to help make the class of 2014's commencement one to remember.
I'm really excited to graduate. I felt like it would never come. The Grad Fest line is pretty long. So excited for that to be over too.
Class of 2014's Grad Fest is underway, and as you can see behind me, all the students are lined up for their grad goodies. Caps and gowns, tassels, graduation announcements, and many souvenirs are some of the gifts that you can collect here today.
The very packed Grad Fest was a happy but also reminiscent time for the students. The 4, 5, or even 6 years spent at the university is now coming to an end, and sharing these last moments with family and friends on commencement day is the highlight of it all.
I'm super excited. I'm finally graduating, class of 2014. I'm a human services major, and I bought the cap and gown and the tassel, $65. This year's Grad Fest was definitely a success, and I look forward to seeing all you fellow Titans at commencement next month. This is Jasmine Collier reporting for OC News.
Here's Cynthia Laliker with some vintage fashion ideas for this spring.
Hey everyone! Fashion is such a form of creating your own sense of style, especially when trying to learn how to style vintage. I have a special guest here, Martin Ramirez, who is the owner of Super Thrift, and his store has been around since the 90s. If you're looking for a classic garments, let's check out some vintage fashion that will be cool for this spring and summer. So Martin, can you tell me a little bit about what vintage is?
Vintage is normally categorized as anything that's over 30 years old. So with the bulk of it being for us 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s clothing.
Okay, I know that there's different pieces. There's random, there is rare and high-end vintage. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Random vintage is something you can find at pretty much any given thrift store or vintage store. It's pretty much a lot of the styles that you might see in department stores where they're trying to inspire looks from the 80s. That's pretty much what we classify as random vintage. As far as the rare vintage, that's a little harder to come by. That's something that you have on, actually. Something that didn't actually make the rack because Cynthia just said, you know what, I want this piece. So that's a good piece. It's a romper from the 60s. It's not something that's expensive as well. It's affordable. It's doable. So it creates a big fashion statement.
Okay. Also, I know, why is vintage fashion becoming so popular?
I think people are just going online on Pinterest, blogs, and they're just trying to find their own little sense of style. A lot of indie people, hipsters, they're trying to find a style that nobody else has, and that's kind of the popularity right now. So. Okay,
so say a customer wants to shop into your thrift store. What should they go into when they're entering your store?
Well, they should walk in. Think of the store as just a white canvas. Instead of specifically coming in with a wish list, just approach the store, go through the racks, and find something that you can identify with. Look for an item not for what it is, but for what it could become. That's a great example what you have on.
Okay. So now, Martin, for the fun part, what do you think would be great choices for people to wear this spring and summer?
Well, I picked up a few things from the rack. This is a 1960s dress. It's rare. It's not easily found at thrift stores. This would probably pitch about $45 in a vintage store.
Okay, and any other pieces that you think that would be really
there's a baby doll dress from the 1960s. So they're cool little pieces once they're on.
And you also had a white long crochet.
Yeah, that's crochet from the 60s.
So a lot of the pieces that you have are from the 60s?
I brought a big collection from the 60s because it's a little bit more rare. So I kind of wanted to just bring these pieces in because, the 80s is very common. This is a little bit different. Okay. So.
And I know you also spoke about that you costume style too, and you had a dress.
Yeah, people come in, they try to recreate, they might be, a lot of people are fans of Mad Men, and what they'll do is, they'll say, hey, I want to have a Mad Men party. So this is a dress that you might see on Mad Men.
Oh, okay, that's a beautiful color.
Yeah. 1960s original.
Be really hot this spring. Okay, so now for the gentleman, what do you think that would be, great vintage pieces?
Well, this is a high-end motorcycle jacket. So, this is just an amazing jacket, something you see on Marlon Brando would wear, for example, The Wild One. It's an old classic movie. So this, and when you look at this jacket, you just think of adventure, journey. It's just an amazing jacket for a guy to wear.
And some Levi's or just some jeans?
Yeah, just jeans, salvage jeans with the big cuff. It's important that the guy who wears this, though, that the jacket's not cooler than the guy.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, okay. And you have some,
Yeah, I also brought some high-end rock shirts. These are not knockoffs that you'd find in department stores. These are actually the real McCoys. So we've had these before they ever got popular. This is a Who shirt, rock shirt, 1970s. And this is, the Boss. And these are actually people that we can identify with, and we know who they are.
Okay, and T-shirts are,
T-shirts. Also brought a 1970s Western shirt. For the guys that are in a rockabilly, this, tucked into a pair of salvage jeans, the big cuff, Western boots. It's a good look.
Okay. Is there any pieces that you would choose from here that you think that would just be great for spring and summer, just off the...
We got some Hawaiian shirts. This is a rare Hawaiian shirt, 1950s. It's rayon. It's perfect for a luau. So, this is just a great shirt to wear. Just this ukulele, you're good to go.
And then you also talked about like bell bottoms were...
Yeah, we do a lot of costuming at my store. People come in with decade ideas. Hey, Martin, I'm going to a 70s party, I'm going to a 60s party, 50s. So some of these things work for fashion, and some of these things don't really work for fashion, but they work great for costuming. So we brought some bell bottoms to show you. These are a pair of original Ditto pants from the 1970s, as well as these striped pants here. So these are these are amazing.
Yeah.
And some of these, Brady Bunch or Partridge Family.
Yeah.
And the last piece would be like, it's kind of a surfed out look, lightning bolt shirt from the 70s. So
these are great. Like, these are really great pieces. Thank you so much, Martin, for being here with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Okay. I found my piece of vintage, so make sure to check out your local super thrift fashion, because it's being able to have fun and have your own sense of style. Back to you guys.
That was some great fashion. Thank you, Cynthia. When we come back, we'll update you about how Cal State Fullerton handled the earthquake.
Honey? The credit fairy doesn't exist.
What?
It's make-believe. Nobody left anything under your pillow.
If there's no credit fairy, then we'll make our credit score go up.
We will. By doing things like paying our bills on time.
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place? Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy. There is no credit fairy. How else will I get a better credit score? Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it. No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
The current shutdown of the south side of the library has caused some problems for studying students. Here's Jasmine Collier on site.
Last week was the end of the year event all graduates have been waiting for. Grad Fest ran from Monday to Friday and had a variety of things to help make the class of 2014's commencement one to remember. I'm here at the south side of the Pollock Library where due to the recent Orange County earthquakes, it has been closed. Some of the damage has hit the upper and lower floors of the library, but the bulk of the damage has definitely been on the upper levels. Some of the damage includes dislodged ceilings, cracks in the walls, and also several items falling from shelves. Further information on the situation is pending. I'm Jasmine Collier reporting for OC News.
Find out who just got hitched, the highlights of the MTV Movie Awards. Here is Lisa Love with more for your entertainment.
One of the Backstreet Boys is now a married man, and Robert Downey Jr. is finally on the social media market. Scott Thompson has these stories and more on your Hollywood Minute.
Backstreet Boy Nick Carter is officially taken. He and his new wife tied the knot in California on Saturday. The couple got engaged just over a year ago. Jennifer Lawrence could soon have her own X-Men spin-off. Entertainment Weekly reports producers were so impressed with her performance as Mystique, the shape-shifting mutant, they're considering her for a role in her own film, but no concrete plans are in place. The latest X-Men movie, Days of Future Past, is due out on May 23rd. It didn't take long for actor Robert Downey Jr. to take Twitter by storm. Just after he signed on, he quickly gained more than 1 million followers. That number continues to grow. His first tweet read, "Talk to me, Twitter." It also featured a selfie. At the movies this weekend, the superhero flick Captain America, the Winter Soldier, was the big winner. It brought in over $41 million. The animated movie Rio 2 came in second, and the horror movie Oculus came in at number 3. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Shelby Lynn.
This past weekend was the MTV Movie Awards. Host Conan O'Brien entertains the crowd in between awards being handed out to the well-deserved stars. The highlights include Jonah Hill wins Best Comedic Performance, Mila Kunis wins Best Villain, Channing Tatum wins the Trailblazer Award, Best Male and Female awards went to Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson of The Hunger Games. And finally, it was no surprise that the Movie of the Year award went to The Hunger Games, Catching Fire. And that's all that's relevant in entertainment for today. Ladies, back to you.
Thank you, Lisa. I know you guys have noticed that it's starting to be fairly warm out. Summer is definitely coming. For the hottest need-to-know vacation ideas, here's Travel and Food with Jasmine Bolaños.
Thank you, ladies. Summertime is approaching. Do you know where you're vacationing yet? Well, if you don't, there's no need to worry. Here are some ideas for you to get a head start. If you don't want to drive that far, but still want an unforgettable experience, Santa Barbara is a place to be. Better known as the American Riviera, Santa Barbara can offer you its beautiful blue beaches, comfortable resorts like the Bacara Resort and Spa, where you can relax and forget about any social network or stress. And to end the night, dine out at one of Santa Barbara's delicious restaurants, Ark Rock Fish, where you can savor the freshest seafood in town. For the adventurous people that want to travel but not get out of the country and still experience the Latin culture, then Miami is your answer. Miami offers you an exciting Caribbean culture in U.S. territory, starting with the famous Calle Ocho, famous for their Latin Street Festival. Although the festival is done, you can still indulge yourself with Cuban food from Versailles, a famous and delicious restaurant where people from all over the country visit just to try their unique and flavorful home-cooked dishes. Let's not forget about Miami's famous and unforgettable nightlife, where you can dance the night away at one of Miami's famous nightclubs, Mansion, where stars like P. Diddy and Jay-Z have hosted their parties. This club has a high-class feel with lots of high energy and lights all around for a never-ending party night. Famous DJs like Deadmau5 keep the crowd going to make their night a memorable one. Once you end your night, you'll want to dream away to regain all your energy to start another wonderful day. These top 3 Miami hotels will do the job. Starting at number 1 with the Anglers Boutique Resort, its Mediterranean style invites people from all over the world to have peace and quiet, from loud crowds to the South Beach hotels. The rooms are studio-sized. There's also an option to book a 3-story villa with spiral staircases and a rooftop shower. Coming in at number 2 is the Betsy South Beach with its colonial meets tropical decor. The guests are sure to get a treat off of these beautiful rooms. The Betsy Hotel will sure make you feel as if you were at home. Finally, at number 3 is the Eden Rock Resort. The resort has 281 rooms and offers its guests 14 luxurious bi-level bungalow suites. Our foreign correspondent is back with another story from Guatemala. Take a look at what Abraham Williams found at the Capuchin Convent in Antigua.
Colorful handmade crafts and the artisans that sell them line the cobblestone road with evidence of earthquake-damaged ruins left behind in Antigua, Guatemala. The Capuchin Convent was abandoned after Antigua's earthquake in 1773. Today it houses the History and Archaeology Institute of Guatemala. It once was home for up to 28 nuns. 18 of them lived in these living quarters. Tour guide Fausto Antonio Sican explains. The nuns went to the cells to do different religious activities. They would fast, pray, and this included the ritual of self-flagellation. Some of these quarters had a beautiful view of the garden, but every nun did have her own restroom that connected to a drainage system. The convent has a central courtyard that visitors can roam through and find themselves in the kitchen. This was an intelligent design for its era and considered to be an advanced level of construction. The kitchen featured a wood-burning stove, and the smoke escaped from the chimney-shaped roof. Proper ventilation and a low arc ensured that the smoke would flow straight up, and this style of architecture is thought to be the first of its kind in the Americas. Once a nun decided to come to the Capuchin convent to practice their religion, they made the choice to live a strict religious life. This convent was an enclosed convent. This meant that once the nuns entered, they died for the world. They were not allowed to have contact with the outside world. Thanks to Fausto Antonio Sican from Antigua, Guatemala, Abraham Williams reporting.
That's all for Food and Travel today. Back to you, Crystal.
Thank you, Jasmine. I'll make sure to keep those tips in mind when I go on my break. That's going to be here for us at OC News. I'm Crystal Ruiz.
And I'm Yahira Perez. We'll see you on the next edition of OC News.